Hi, Cody. Thanks for showing up. What kind of beer you drinking? Hi, everybody. Welcome to our third installment of, I don't know what we're calling this, the Rally Chat. I figure with the, dismay of what rally is going on in America right now, let's just sit around and talk about rally. So our favorite guest of all, Earl, is here. Oh, and Danny, his owner. And then Krista and Sam, hi guys, have decided to, I don't know, slum it with us and hang out. And, but yeah. I got more people coming in. But anyway, so I don't know, we're going to talk about cars, bad cars, good cars. I'm not going to probably agree that Subarus are the best, even though that's where everybody wants to start. But it's what everybody drives, and it is what it is. But and what are we looking at here, Jacob? What are we looking at?
We got a banner.
Is that a banner, Jacob?
He's doing dishes.
Perfect. Thank God for that. All right, so Krista and Sam. All right, let's back up. So Sam, I don't know you. So you haven't been in this game too incredibly long, if I'm right.
Depends on how you define long. I started Rally in 2010, but I lived on the East Coast, so
okay.
That's where I think a lot of people don't know me quite as much. I moved out west in around 2014 and then started competing out here in 2015.
Yes, Jacob, you're on the camera.
You were down in California, right? For a bit.
I grew up in California, and then but I didn't start rallying until I was on the East Coast. So I started.
Okay, fair enough. So you're not like new to it, but it's one of these things. It was like, I started coming to events back in like early 2000s, and and the names that pop up around here, and then I took a hiatus. And Jacob, you're still sideways, and and then I kept hearing your name, and it was like, well, who the hell is Sam? And so on and so forth. So tell me a little bit of your history of rally and where you got here, or how you got here.
All right. So I had always been into rally, like through. I guess I probably started in high school, SCCA Pro Rally days. I think the very first rally I ever saw was the Maine Forest Rally on like Speed Vision. That was the initial hook, and then I kind of, did some research into it and discovered like the World Rally Championship and all that sort of stuff. So right at the time of like, and this is probably to your dismay, right at like Subaru's heyday, Petter Solberg wins a World Championship, so now I'm hooked. And then, but don't come from a family with money or anything. So I didn't really get involved with rally until after I graduated from college and had a paycheck and was able to start putting it towards building my first rally car, of course, which was a Subaru. Totally a noob to all this. Didn't know left from right with anything. And I had a Subaru and I was like, all right, let's turn this into a rally car. So that's how I ended up going down that route.
But wait, when did you get that Subaru?
When I was in college. So, but yeah, so it was my daily driver for a number of years. And then when I was like, I had some downtime, wasn't working too much, but still had some money coming in. So it went into to building the car. And it was 2009 timeframe. I went to like the Gorman Ridge Rally.
No, keep going. Jacob's figuring out his thing. This is awesome.
So built it, went to Neil. It was like my first course to get, learn some good habits. And then my first rally was the 2010 Sandblast Rally.
Excellent. So you actually had proper training, you said? You actually took some...
Yeah, I was like, I should probably like figure out what's right and wrong. So I did the Team O'Neill 5-day course way back when. That was probably 2009 while I was still building the car.
And he slept in his car between days of the classes.
To start with, and then Carl, who had the GC8 that he turbo, what's his last name? Carl from like Minnesota. He was also
Minnesota Carl.
Yeah, Minnesota Carl. He was in the class as well, and he had a friend that lived nearby Team O'Neill. So I ended up staying. He had like an old like schoolhouse, like imagine New England, like just a box that kind of looked like a church, had a couple of desks stuff in it. And that's what he owned. So we just kind of a little cot in there, and that's where I stayed for Team O'Neill because I couldn't afford a hotel and Team O'Neill at the same time.
No, that's Rally at its finest right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Siegler.
What was it? Carl Siegler. I like the other version, but no. Okay, so Krista, tell me your history.
It's actually kind of funny. Like you, I didn't know who Sam was either, so I think I should just declare that.
No, it's cool.
My rally path was on like the same exact trajectory as Sam. The first event I went to was in 2007 as a spectator, and then my first time competing was in 2010. And so when I started going to events, I started meeting a lot of drivers and co-drivers, and once they did like Olympus and Oregon Trail, it's like Matthew Johnson and Chrissy Beavis and like, that whole crew, Ramana and all that.
Right.
And Andrew Connery Picard, they're like, oh, you're local. Like, can you help? Can I mail parts to your house? And then can you bring them? And so I started helping out teams in that way. And then X Games 2009, I think it was, or it might have been 2010. Andrew Connery Picard asked if I would help with his team, and I ended up managing the team at X Games, which is pretty rad because there's no way I'd ever take home 2 bronze medals from X Games myself, but I guess I was a part of that. And
sure.
After that, people are like, you've got your shit together. I think you could co-drive. And I was like, what? No way. I can't do that. Wait.
Okay, so you managed all of that before you ever co-drove?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
And then Billy like took me under his wing and was like, we're finding you a ride. Jason Braun did some training with me, and then I did rally training with Primitive with Ben Bradley and Catherine Hansen. It was like a side project with Paul teaching part of the class. And then Nate Foley took me in, and I competed with him in 2010 at Mount Hood Rally, and that was my first event.
What year?
2010.
Oh, that way.
It's the same year that Sam started.
It was like the last year I think I ran was 2000. No, wait. No, it was 2009. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, and well, here I am now. I guess that I don't know. Like Nate was always super rad and so easygoing about everything. It made it really easy to sit with him and know that I was going to mess stuff up. And he was like, everything's fine all the time and laughing. And then eventually I ended up sitting with Mark Fox. And, that was a big difference.
What was the gray Impreza, right? Was it Jacob? Jacob. All right, we're going to pause for a second while Jacob figures out his computer. Hi, Jacob. Are you there? Jacob. Yeah, Jacob's gone.
Lost.
All right, so it was the gray, it was like the old gray Impreza, right? It was Mark Fox's old one?
No, it was the camo one, the Army National Guard.
National Guard.
Oh, that's right.
Car. Oh.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Sounds better than Jacob.
You're doing a lot better than Jacob.
You're not even sideways.
Well, cool. Well, all right. So finally, Alex gets here. Oh, Jesus.
Hold on.
This is why I ask you guys to show up early. so we can do all of this beforehand.
You can't figure out the internet, though.
No, the internet's hard. All right. So anyway, we're gonna talk about cars. Alex is seriously, Alex, are you there? There he is. There's his nose, and he's got some sort of beverage. So Alex is the king of random mass ideas of vehicles and whatnot. I mean, I have my fair share of lists of really bad ideas and really probably worse ones. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, let's be real. Like, nobody should ever rally an RX-7. Like, it is the worst idea ever to cram yourself in a tiny little car and think that.
The cabin in that thing is huge.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's big enough.
Did I share the photo? It was a photo of someone rallying a Group B replica RX-7, and they had their helmet touching the cage. They just zip tied a pillow to the bar.
Mm-hmm. sounds like a great idea.
No, that sounds awesome.
What was that Eagle Talon that I raced in 2010? That's the same thing. Even my head was touching the cage.
No, small cars are a bad idea. No, I still believe, truly to this day, the answer is trucks. Trucks will always be the answer. Yeah, I know, right? Deep.
I mean, I'm sure they're fun, but I don't see them being super competitive.
No, not even remotely, but that's the best part. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and I don't know.
You're drinking at the wrong time.
Terrible.
So, I mean, so here's the reality. They're slow. They slide around a lot. And, but...
Wheel hop? Wheel hop, is that a thing?
What? Wheel hop is not really a thing. I mean, you can control it. But the reality is it's cheap. Okay, so did anybody grow up driving like mini trucks? Like old Toyotas?
Like a late 80s Toyota.
Right. Okay. So would you have taken it and just beat the shit out of it and given no second thought about it?
That was its only purpose in life.
Yes. Now imagine doing that on stage and not giving a shit about it. And so that's where, at least in my mind, to where trucks are just this beautiful thing that you don't have to do anything to them. Like literally you go to AutoZone and you get lifetime warranty shocks. And when you kill them, you go get new shocks. Jacob, can you actually hear us this time?
Yeah, I can see myself too.
Oh, hi.
You're not sideways.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
But stuff like the BF Goodrich AT tires I ran on the Mighty Max years ago, and they lasted just as long as any rally tire. And guess what? They're $100. So I'm just saying, from like maybe not a competitive car, but I would definitely say from like an entry level car, I think it's one of the better places to start. That's my opinion. I don't think not many people should.
Like the California races where they're crazy rough and like big ruts and stuff. Like when what was the one down in Arizona? There was like half day Arizona, half day California. I don't know. There's one of the days was like crazy rough. Like we bent a wheel on transit, and that's when I could see a truck being like an okay idea.
Right.
Yeah, like Bill Holmes raced the truck down in California forever, and he was super fast with it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but I mean, Bill Holmes is a different kind of character. It's like True. John Lane pedaling his Volvo like to ungodly speeds. Like there are always going to be the people that can push cars to a level that I will never do it, nor do I want to, quite frankly. Back in the day when I didn't have two tiny mouths to feed and, a mortgage and whatnot, it was, life was a little more, well, whatever. But I mean, really at this point, it's all about sliding around and having fun with as little out of my pocket as possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just going for all-out fun, then does it even really matter? Just find something that's cheap and rear-wheel drive, and then just go send it. Like,
Well, right, and that's what I'm saying. So like a compact pickup is like, it's one of those primo things that you don't have to do anything to them. And I mean, realistically, for me, it'll always be about fun because I'll never be competitive. I've never been fast. I've never been quick. And the reality is I enjoy hanging out at the back because it's some of the coolest guys I've ever met and some of the people I still talk to nowadays. I mean, when I don't know, there seems to be like a stress thing that shows up when you start moving up the pack. Because you start talking to guys that are leading things, and they're stressed about their times and stuff like that.
Would you say not do anything to it? I would like to point out the first thing you showed us was a V8 in a box swap kit. And
oh yeah. I'm not saying you couldn't do something to it. I'm just saying like you wouldn't have to.
All right, clarified.
Matt,
but
can I
on
ask you a question though,
sure.
When you say you like hang out in the back, but do you get competitive with a certain few people around you in the back?
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, like, I mean, we're swapping times, but like, I don't know, like, I always enjoyed the back, and I mean, when I had the old RX-7, the best I ever did was like an 8th place finish overall. Like, I mean, I'm not unhappy with that, but like there was definitely a different level to when I was pushing with that versus, I don't know, hanging out in the back with the Mighty Max and my old Legacy and stuff like that. So, and I'm just saying that
there's something to be said about being able to drink beers in the evenings rather than reviewing video all night long.
Yeah.
I understand,
and I mean, that's just me. I mean, like, I am weird. I enjoy, I mean, like, I enjoy the aspect of rally, of literally going through a corner and flinging as much gravel at people as possible. Like, that is my number one goal. Times, that's like, whatever. Times come later. All right. So, Jacob, hi. So we're on the topic of trucks, and you kind of own a truck. Basically, the most popular truck in the Northwest right now. Yes. Are you there?
Yeah, probably. And I definitely did stuff to it.
You did do stuff to it.
It doesn't just go like that.
No. So Jacob, tell me about where you started, because I always like to ask that. I know it's very cliche, but
so I grew up in Port Angeles, Washington, which doesn't have any motorsports really. And as a teenager, I needed an outlet, which ended up being logging roads. And I had this theory that probably from the world they race on logging roads and like they time it or something. And then when I was 17, I saw a Subaru 25 RS, and I was like, that's the car for this. And then maybe 6 months later, I found out about Stage Rally, and I made that the point to me, like, being around is try to get to there. And it took me a sad number of years to do that.
What is a sad number of years?
I did end up going to, I started Rallycross in 2006 though, so I've been doing that straight the whole time, but Stage took me close to 20 years.
Good job making it though. I'm proud of you.
You're here.
You're here.
Yeah,
that's the important part.
I mean, our average amongst our group of getting out the car is very poor anyway.
Say what?
Our average on stage of getting a car ready to actually go and race between all of us has actually been pretty poor. I think you're like 10 years. I got about 10 years. Dan bought his car. That doesn't count. But
I think I owned my car for 3 years before I got it on stage.
It took me like, I think at least 10 years before, from the time that I learned about rally to my first event.
Not everybody's Sam Albert.
whoa. I got that car in 2004 and didn't get to stage until 2010, so I'm right there with you.
When,
All right,
when
fair
you
enough.
started trying to get it on stage, how long did it take you?
About a year.
Oh, a year? That's like the lap of luxury right there. A year turnaround. Shit.
And
I
after
mean,
you totaled that one, how long did it take you to get the next one on?
Well, that was a lot easier. All I had to do is prep a new shell, so everything swapped over. That was like
Oh, that's all. Just
Wait, when did you total that?
TFR.
PFR, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what year. 2016. I tried to rally at one more event at Big White, but it was so like the wheelbase was short about an inch on one side compared to the other. And so you'd come in like,
crabbing.
It's so much more sensitive. You touch the brakes turning one way, it'd be fine. You touch the brakes going the other direction, the car would instantly do a spin.
Oh,
So I was like, oh yeah, maybe I need to address this. So,
But you also tried to rally it, like super rally it at PFR, and it was crab walking down the stage.
yeah, and we finished.
that's all that matters.
yeah. You got to the end.
So Jacob, you're doing a lot better than the rest of us. Let's put it that way. Well, I mean, except Sam and Chris. I mean, they're legit. I'm talking about the other people here. So good job.
I thought I was well below average on that. Wow.
You what?
I think when people build a car for the first time, it takes them years, usually. From what you see, anyway. There are those people. Obviously, if you're like a really good mechanic already, and then you're smart and you bring your car to somebody and drop it off, and you get it back with a cage and like skid plates and stuff, then the rest is not so bad.
Yes, I will agree with that. I mean, my car was there wasn't a stitch of wiring or a piece of plumbing or anything in it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a decade of working on the yellow turd behind me. So,
it was a decade.
It took 8 years. I got the car in 2010 from Charles, and the first event I did with it was Tour de Force in 2018. So
most of that was sitting around, though, wasn't it?
What?
Most of that time was it just kind of chilling out, like you're not touching it because
Well,
you were at school.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, okay. Is any car ever really done? No. But to bringing it to some level, like I had to make that commitment that I was going to make it to something, because it was including buying new belts and, so yeah, it could have been done earlier, but, having kids and buying houses and finding jobs and stuff like that.
You mean being an adult?
Quite frankly, I am over this adult crap.
It's the worst.
It really is kind of the worst thing I've ever stumbled across. Whoever invented this, fuck you. Like seriously, I am ready to hand in the adult card. My God, my son, as much as I love him, just sits around and complains about his life being horrible, and I'm like,
you don't know anything yet, kid.
you know nothing.
I wasn't gonna say that.
That's it. All right, so I've abolished the world with my trucks. Who else has got horrible ideas? I mean, basically any car that Alex brings home.
Yeah.
And I think the compact is as close as I've gotten to a car that's like reasonable.
Right.
Would you agree?
It's a reasonable car.
Right. No. I mean,
There are
over
like emotional attachments, but
you do or do not have an emotional attachment to it.
I do. Clearly, I do. I've had like 20 of them.
Yeah, you do. No, I mean your 318 is
20 cars.
Is not the worst idea, because clearly a lot of people have done well with them, right?
Not us per se, but others, yeah.
Not us, but no, there are people around the world that have done well, and the 318s or compacts or whatever they call them elsewhere. I think it still involves like redoing half the rear end of the car to make sure it doesn't fall apart. But
I think so I used to own a Turbo Omni and a Turbo Dodge Shadow, and I talked to Dave Clark, and he loved his Omni. And part of me actually considered picking up a cheap, like Omni base shell, swapping in the turbo motor from a donor car, building a Rally Omni. Or we can go one step further, and you can get a Plymouth van. You remember like the original first gen minivan?
yeah,
That motor, the 2.5 turbo and the manual could swap into the van. And then we could have a 2.5 turbo panel minivan rally car.
Hey, maybe that guy that you were talking about before we got started, that is the idiot that said, "Hey, let's twin turbo a minivan and rally it." Maybe that was Alex.
could have been.
Oh, you missed it, Alex. And before we went live, we were joking about some guy that said he wanted to rally a minivan.
Oh yeah, so it was like at Oregon Trail, I don't know, years and years ago. But one of the corners I was working, there was a guy that said he wanted to build a twin turbo Mitsubishi minivan because he wanted to take the engine from the 3000 GT, and he wanted to rally the minivan. And I was like, okay, well that sounds
all right.
cool. I mean,
If we wanted to be serious about that, you can take it's like the Colt Vista van with all-wheel drive, and you could swap the 4G63 from the 1G or 2G DSM into the Colt,
bad ideas.
whatever it is, and then you end up with functionally an all-wheel drive turbo minivan that would be actually bolt together and not totally outside the realm. Because people in Cleveland used to do that, and they turned them into drag minivans for drag racing.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
that sounds like an awesome one.
Is it really that different than like, you know, a RAV4 or a Passport? Like, it's just a lot of metal just kind of floating around behind you. Like, whatever.
There's a RAV4 rally car in Europe. I've seen it. 4-door RAV4 rally car. Use a 3 GST turbo motor out of like the Celica, and you would have a turbo RAV4 rally car. I'm just saying.
See, somehow I support this idea. I mean, like, okay, I made fun of the guy years ago with the minivan. Unfortunately, I think I fully support these bad ideas anymore.
I still think a Fox body Mustang would be fun.
Oh yeah, Mike Hurst's old one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a guy from Minnesota that had one too.
Wasn't the one that he bought Mike's?
Utect. Mike. Utect?
Mike Utect. That was Hurst. That was Hurst's old Mustang.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing was sick. It came into Idaho one year that it was like my second or third year of volunteering for that Rally. It was like one of the last years that I was able to volunteer, actually.
So, Matt, are you familiar with the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution?
No.
I think it's a soft J.
So it's basically a Montero or a Raider, but in Japan they sold it as a Pajero, and it was an all-wheel drive, like Dakar build homologation car. It was also kind of like a Mitsubishi thing. We didn't really see them here, but you might see them imported now. Something like that would be on the same par as like a RAV4 or the turbo thing. I totally think you could get away with that if you had money and resources. So I don't know. We should do. Think of them would actually be reasonable if you choose the right thing.
They have a bunch of cars like that in like the Asia Pacific Championship. Like if you remember Rifat, who came over here and did a couple events. I think he had a Mitsubishi Pajero as well, and he raced that in like Indonesia. But they have a bunch of like, crossovers like that they race down in like Southeast Asia.
I gotta look up what the hell a Pajero is.
It was great.
Alex, did you notice how he said Pajero, not Pajero?
Pajero, sorry. Oh, okay.
Oh, you said it right, Matt. Alex, as always, is pronouncing it wrong.
I'm from Ohio.
What's his other word?
What I learned.
We were in Vegas. We were in Vegas one year, and Alex tells me we see a gelato stand. He goes, "I love gelato." I'm not going to tell you what I called him after that. Something about uncultured.
You called that a lever or something like that?
Oh yeah, the lever.
I don't know. No, I wish there was more. I wish there was more of like the SUVs here, like just in general. Like what are the rally raids? Is what I think what they're called elsewhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, God,
Yeah, they
how
do
awesome!
what are the? It's like built on a Range Rover chassis, but they're shorter.
Short wheelbase Range Rover.
Oh yes, no.
Well, there's a company that makes them, and I forget what they're
Yeah,
called.
I know what you're talking about. On the internet's a thing.
They're red. They run Dakar. They used to run Dakar on them.
Yes.
Because Mark, Canadian Mark, well, I co-drove for him. I can't remember his last name right now. But he was talking about doing one.
Was it like the Bowler or something like that?
Yes, Bowler Nemesis. Yeah,
That's what it was.
Thank you.
Bowler, yeah. Yes, those things are awesome.
If you build minivans, you can put all of your spares and your tools in the car and then just drive to the event.
Okay, so just
and
on
you
the
can
other,
sleep in the back of it too.
you could.
And you have room for beer.
Just
And
on the other
a
side
grill.
of this wall here, outside, I have 2 Volvo station wagons that I thought was a good idea. But seriously, like
They're a great idea. Not
you could move like a family of 4 into that thing and rally. And I bought them with the thought of building them into a rally car, and they currently sit on the other side of my garage. But no, seriously, like, I mean, you could put a small mattress in the back of that damn thing.
What you need to do is just build enough of one class of car and then rent them out to people. And then you can be competitive within your minivan class and have your own sort of competition outside of rallying times also.
Like Spec Minivan.
This spec van.
Or you can put 2 extra seats in the back with harnesses and everything, and then you can just sell the seats to spectators to go on stage.
You have a maximum of 2 per the rules.
I mean,
Clearly, nobody
in the back.
anyway. So what's the difference? So just put them in the back.
Yeah, that's true.
you pay the ARA an extra $100, and they might be down with it.
You know, Matt, really looking
What?
It sounds like you're
In
official.
Rallycross, there are rules about that.
In Rallycross, there are rules about that. I heard that.
You're super garbly, Jacob.
Yeah, they're. Oh, am I? Oh, sorry. I don't know what to do about that.
You're better now.
There's no rule in stage about how
There used to be, or at least Rally America used to have one. It used to say a maximum of 2 passengers in the vehicle.
And I think even for recce, a lot of times it'll say only 2 people in the vehicle.
Who goes on recce?
Sam's looking at Chris like, give me a beer.
Yeah, people that can get a Friday off.
I'm slowing them down a little.
Can you get me another one too, Chris, while you're in there?
Recce is that thing that people do when they have time. So I've heard.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Makes it
we
safe.
use the Olympus.
I'll wreck any chance I get because I can't break my car because I can't afford to fix it. So if I can find
That's true.
spots that are going to break my car, I'm like, yeah, I'll slow down for that section.
So is your car like stuck now in our state?
Cody's watching right now. I guess he's not working on my car right now.
What the hell, Cody? Get your ass outside.
No. Cody had an unfortunate thing happen to his truck. He blew his transmission in his truck like the week after I dropped my car off at his place. Well, at Caro's, and he towed it back from there. So I imagine before too long he should be working on it, especially since he can't, be social with people.
Well, Cody's never been a social person.
That's a lie.
No, I know. That's a complete and utter lie.
He says it's cold there.
It is cold out in Idaho.
Yeah, you should have seen Matt at the start of this. Well, you did see Matt at the start of this.
I've slowly been disrobing.
Yeah.
And at the very end is when I will just be completely naked and then everybody will run away. No.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
No, we won't do that.
You thought his beard was long. I don't want to see his chest hair.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, that is my chest hair.
Oh, gross.
Cody. Oh, that's right. Cody still has to go to work. What a punk.
Yeah.
Come on, Cody, can't you telework?
What a slacker.
I know. I'm
Seriously.
even teleworking now. That's why I hadn't shaved today.
They got
I would
robots
love to be quarantined. I would get stuff done if I got quarantined. I could go work in my car. I could sleep. It'd be great.
Oh yeah, are you getting quarantined also?
In the medical profession,
No.
if you get the virus, then you'll be quarantined. Then you'll be all right.
Then you'd be all right.
Bingo.
All right. I mean, okay, we're not wishing. We're not wishing the coronavirus upon anyone, but you know, Alex could use a couple weeks off.
Where modern problems require modern solutions.
Yeah, like
I think Cody should probably mail you some.
is anybody like selling like fake coronavirus tests? Like they
It's been confiscated at the airport.
Oh God.
I'm just hoping to walk into a room and then being like, "Oh no, he's positive." I'm like, "Oh darn, me without my gear. Bye, going home."
just like
Right.
walk into work and like right before you walk in, get like a battery powered like a hair dryer for your forehead. They'll look at you once and be like, nah, you gotta go. How is it? How are you 130 degrees?
A hair
Right, this is
forehead.
the virus predisposition. We should,
And Anish says, I thought it was a virus-free discussion. We're just
Oh,
trying to
I'm
get
sorry.
Alex some more work time off work.
Yeah. No, this
Yeah.
is it's rally based because Alex needs time to work on his car.
Yeah.
So he
Just
needs a bad disease so he can stay home.
Because
My
we need
next
more
day off.
content.
next day off is July 1st. So
It's for Rally.
He's got to get something done.
I mean, that's dedication, people. Like, let's be real. Not many people are going to do that.
I mean, all you need is a hair dryer. You'd be all right.
That's yes, no, exactly.
Anish said
All right, so
Anish the hot pocket on your
there you
forehead.
go. Yeah.
That could burn. I don't know about all that.
All right, so Danny, you've got your Integra,
Yes.
right? So what other horrible ideas have you perplexed with after owning that?
I don't have horrible ideas. I like to think logically about this stuff.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
a code river.
No, I do. That's part of the reason. That's not part of the reason. One of the reasons I have a Honda is because it was cheap when I got it. But
Okay.
then the motor and trans, for the most part, have been pretty solid. Other than the second gear synchro, but that was when I got it, so it's finally getting fixed. But the little Honda motors go forever, so I figured that was a good idea. But no, if I was going to do it all over again, I don't know what I would do. Something cheap and easy. Maybe I would definitely go rear wheel drive.
Civic RT van.
Rear wheel drive is like more fun.
It's so much fun.
Not a good rear wheel driver, but it would be a lot of laughs. So I think I would do something rear wheel drive and non-turbo.
Volvo?
A Volvo would be fun,
Not
but like,
Volvo, maybe not.
yeah,
Non-turbo,
Volvo would have to be turbo or at least like swap in some sort of V6 or V8.
Culbertson preaches the 5.0 Mustang, so hence the Mustang Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, so if you ever talk to Al Kuhn, so he loves the red blocks because he says they've got 100% duty cycle at Redline. He just keeps it to the floor and runs a stage.
Right.
So
if I did a Volvo, I think I would go full like separate, like dual master cylinder or like pedal box probably because I'm short. That way I could not have to use a Volvo braking system. I know Al has had a bunch of issues with his, like to the point that he didn't have brakes at the start of a rally.
sure,
So
that's also just Al.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still. I would try to keep it as simple as possible. I think,
Right.
and that's not like the necessarily simple when you're building process, but once it's done, that's easy to like. You lose your brakes, you're like, okay, well, there's half a system versus the whole thing, which with the stock system in the Volvos, I know it goes into some weird Swedish stuff.
It's a redundant system that gives you brakes, whether it's broken or not.
And until it doesn't at all.
Oh, until it doesn't. Yes.
And it should be a simple system, which is, okay, you push a brake pedal and it pushes a hydraulic, stuff, basically stuff. I don't know how to explain the master cylinder.
He fixed it both ways, by the way. I'm just putting that out there.
Airplane systems are easy for me. That's cars are
They
different.
have hydraulics. Brakes are hydraulics. Those
But
are
I
worst
can tell you
hydraulics
step
I've
by
ever
step
heard.
everything in a F-15 hydraulic system, all right?
I mean, the bulb is a great idea until you have to work on the fuel pump, and then it just suddenly quits on you randomly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, one of the two, mind you.
Well,
Yeah.
Because why not? No, it was like the early like front caliper. I think all the calipers had like a double like hoses running to them. So you essentially had like two full braking systems in the entire car. No, it was a cluster. It is a cluster. So yeah. All
Cody
right. So
says E36, which I think would
E36 isn't a bad idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
I just don't want to ever afford one.
yeah, plus the BMW tax, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean
Oh,
BMW
you go to E46?
like free?
So what now?
Wow.
I mean, you
Sam,
can
what?
go get a free.
Oh my god. Wait, Sam said what?
I was just saying that's why you just go to an E46.
Oh, but those are starting to hit the whole drift tax too.
Yeah, if you get
I
in
mean,
now,
Yeah. All right. So Alex.
In California, you can get like a 328 IS that did not pass smog for like $500.
You know, you say that, but every time I go looking for things down there, they're just as expensive up here down there.
All right, now I have a mission. I'm going to be blasting you in the background with.
No, that's fine because I want to see this. Okay, so Jacob, you're eternally damned to a brat because you built one. Not in a bad way, but so where do you want to go in any event or cars in the future?
Oh, you know what? I would and then do like a RX Turbo, then Legacy, SVX, and STI. You know, like go like in order of generations.
Okay.
I mean, there's no way I'm going to turn that thing down. If I destroy this, other brat.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you're
I can't go.
internet
without
famous because of your brat.
the
let's
ego
be real.
poking constantly. Yeah. The next one will be faster to build, though.
I would hope so. I mean, if it took you 14 years, God, let's hope you figure out this one a little quicker.
Well, no, I've had it for 10. I started racing in 06, but I got the brat 10 years ago. And I learned who not to trust, which will speed up things by like 6 years probably.
Yes, that is a whole thing within Rally that unfortunately happens. Is you just yes. Okay, Alex, I saw your $500 BMW. Thank you. But yeah, you know, which really saddens me because
It's crashed.
It is crashed.
It's
he left
complete.
that part out. It just won't pass smog. It's fine.
He says, "Yeah, it's only $500 here. Look at the back end.
Yeah, the ass end is gone.
Come on. Great candidate, Alex. Good job.
Oh my god.
And it's automatic.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Out.
the
There's
RAV4
nothing
would
going on.
You got to have qualifiers.
The leather's nice.
Actually-
But, I mean,
All right. This might be more reasonable. It just needs a fender and a hood.
Oh, just a fender, just a hood.
well, that's not too expensive.
All right, so Krista, do Do you ever want to drive?
I actually started out wanting to drive, but I figured that co-driving is a quicker way to get on stage and
Yeah.
an easier way to maintain my ability to be on stage.
That's cool.
But I used to have an '89 Civic hatchback that I really wanted to turn into a rally car.
I fully support that.
Yeah, and I think that it would have been a solid decision, but I ended up getting rid of it for $500 for no real reason. Other than I don't have a place to store it or any money to build it.
Fair enough.
But co-driving with Lucy Block, that not that I could ever afford it, but the Fiesta R2T is like so much fun. Oh my god, you can just like toss that thing around everywhere and just step on it and go and just have a heyday with it. And it's small enough that it's reminiscent of my hatchback. So if I had all the money in the world, I would totally buy one of those from M Sport, because why not? If you have all the money in the world, just
you might as well, right?
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Gates is selling his Subaru up in Canada for a friggin' steal of a deal.
Oh yeah, and then you got your Canadian exchange. So
yeah, I don't know how to import cars, but that would be
cross the
another
border
car
right
that I wish I could just buy and like add to the fleet to like rent out, and kind of like Sam and I always dreaming about starting this team where we race, but then we also have people rent cars that are just like entry level car, and then like
Joel's car?
I want a car that I can like inspire and get women to feel comfortable to like step into at first and like kind of mentor in that area. And the Joel Cates car, sorry Joel, but it would be a really good car for like that, like feel comfortable that you can toss that car around and it's not too much to handle. Yeah, if only. Dreams.
That looks like a solid car and sounds like it from everything I've read anyway. I know it needs core support, but
yeah, it's easy stuff that it needs to make it 100% again.
Yeah,
Well,
I drove in it up there and I was like, this is such a great car. Like, what a perfect like first
suspensions on it, like DMS.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it's not very great, but it's good enough.
Yeah, DMS is great for an open light car.
Except for you can't really get them serviced. But
well, yeah,
there's a lot of like Bilstein cross parts that fit in it. So
that's what I've seen lately. Is people are putting the Bilstein inserts into them.
That's pretty awesome.
If anybody can buy that car and import it, I highly suggest it. I don't remember how much he's selling it for like $8,500.
Like $9,000 Canadian.
Which is like
yeah,
grand,
which is like what is it, $400 American? I don't know.
Well, I don't know right now. I don't even want to look, but
it's basically 25% off.
Yeah. Which is super cheap for like a well-built open light car.
Yeah.
Yes.
How
much was it? $9,000. Oh, it's only $6,200 Americano.
Yeah, and if you have the ability to do the work yourself for the radiator support and stuff, it's nothing really.
Yeah, somebody needs to go buy that.
Yeah, he would appreciate it also.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy at the end of last season.
What happened at the end of last season?
I don't know if that's something we need to talk about on here.
Cool. It's fine. We don't need to talk about anything. No worries.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to the whole rule enforcement that we brought up earlier.
Fair enough. Okay, so Sam, if you weren't in a Subaru,
Mark II Escort.
Well,
heck yeah.
I mean, that's like the go-to answer. Come on, we need something deeper.
If you weren't spending $100,000 on a solid car,
go a little more redneck. What do you?
The Fox Body Mustang. I told you. Like.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Fun idea.
I don't know if you guys follow. There's a guy out in I think it's Norway that runs a SN95 Mustang. It's like an orange one.
My dog's staring at me.
He tears it up over in Europe, and it's ridiculous. But what are you playing with your wiener, dude?
He's stared at me. I don't know.
Wiener right in the eye.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna lick your face, but he knows it's not a good idea. I got a 14-inch wiener right here. Oh, 14-pound wiener.
What about rallying a right-hand drive import car?
Oh,
You can
time
do that.
controls would be interesting.
I imagine like so there's been a couple Canadian cars that were right-hand drive, and they'd come. I imagine that would be a little interesting.
Well, Warwick has his Mark I Escort that's right-hand drive.
And what about there used to
What
be a
about a car that
Subaru
maybe
that
wasn't sold here?
There was a GC body that came down to Idaho one year, and I remember like the Marshall was trying to say something to the co-driver, and the driver's like, "Go talk to my co-driver." I don't remember who he was, but it was like 2010 in time frame probably. But it was a right-hand drive Impreza, and I think it was like it was a ProDrive built car. I don't remember whose it was though.
But like an Impreza is a car they sold here. What about buying like a Nissan Pulsar GTIR?
That's too hard. No.
Where are you going to get parts for it?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
start with
exactly.
It's an SR20 motor, so the interchange on the SR20 motor is pretty good with a standard Nissan
Sure,
Sentra.
but what about
Okay.
a rear jet?
Yeah, literally, that's the least of my concern is the engine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was bad ideas.
Oh, okay. No, keep going. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jacob. Jacob's doing our
So we were
drinking
thinking
game.
like, bad ideas that are like plausible, like maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea.
All right.
That's a terrible
Nissan.
idea.
Nissan R32 Skyline, because they did rally one in Japan.
That's true.
Yeah. I think
I'd
it's a
rather
great
do
idea.
a 240.
I'm not gonna do it.
240 SX.
Oh, 240SX. I'd love to rally one of those.
There's a guy in like somewhere in the Midwest that had one for a few years and then changed it out to some. He's racing some other series with it now.
Isn't that
Was
what
that like the
has?
What's that?
was that
Is
like
it
the
one
black
that has a
hatchback
240?
or something like that?
Sorry, Sam. Every time you talk, either Matt talks or
Okay.
or you cut out a little bit.
William Petra, doesn't he have a 240? That
Oh yeah, Petro. Yeah, Petro has one. Yeah, and he has a hoot in that thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And he uses for drift too,
Yep.
so
Yep.
you can use it for all kinds of other stuff.
And no climb, which is a thing.
Yeah.
If you think an RX-7 is small, the 240 is not better.
It is.
How is
Yeah.
it better?
It's got a taller roof.
I don't feel like it does.
It's
Does
I
not
think
a-
it does.
Fine.
The floor is still kind of high on it. Like,
The floor is high. What does that mean? What?
well, so like
What does
it's
that
a
mean?
really flat floor. It doesn't have like, yeah, like the seats are kind of on the floor, I guess.
The seats are always on the floor, but
Like no, because like you look at Subarus and they're raised quite a bit off the floor.
well, yeah,
Okay.
but Subarus have a lot of space inside. But like a 240 is not significantly bigger than like an RX-7.
It doesn't need to be significantly bigger. It only needs to be a little bit bigger.
That's what she said.
You just said that, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
A86 Corolla would be way better if you want to just
Way
go
to
with
make
like
it
a-
awkward, Christian.
sorry, Jacob. Was that me that
See,
time?
Cody Crawford says way more headroom.
Way more headroom. And that's right. John's been building one for
Oh, that's right, John.
friggin'
Lang.
forever.
And told me he wants to make it like sequential and pretty wicked.
Yeah, so that'll never be done.
Well,
Wait.
Ian Sepinen, yeah, Al Dantes called it out. Ian Sepinen, that was the dude that had the 240, and I believe was it Minnesota, Al?
The what?
Ian
what?
Sepinen had a 240 SX rally car. And
Okay.
it was somewhere. I knew it was in the Midwest, but if I'm not mistaken, it's Minnesota. But I could be way off on that.
I mean, unfortunately, I'm
Wasn't there a-
probably the least versed person when it comes to anything east. Unfortunately,
That's not east. That's the Midwest.
it's
Wait,
east of here.
That's like when I used to say it's down south. They're like, dude, that's Wisconsin. I'm like, yeah, for me that was down south.
No,
female rally team, right?
What's that?
the what?
There was a female rally team with a 2.
The 240?
40?
Was it?
Yeah.
No,
I don't remember that.
I remember there was a female driver that used to drift before she started rally, and her name is escaping me.
They were at
Krista, do you know?
OPR probably 8.
She ran. So a girl, she's running a Fiesta. I don't remember her name though.
Well, okay, and nobody can forget the Summit Racing guys from
Oh yeah,
Australia.
yeah, those guys.
I mean,
killed it in those cars.
what was his name? Will Orders.
Yeah.
I mean that dude.
Nobody remembers the other guy's name.
I was just thinking that.
Oh, that's so sad. They were
Well,
both
what was the
just
last one? Yeah,
blazingly fast.
yeah. Bria May. There we go. Al got it.
Oh, there you go.
See, this is why Al should come to all of these.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al.
Go ahead and dial in
Well,
right
and-
now. Space for one more.
Right. Oh, that's right. We could do one more. But all right. I think we're gonna end it there, ladies and gentlemen. Very much appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Krista and Sam, thanks for throwing away your Monday for us.
We're so busy.
Yeah, you guys are so busy now that everybody's locked down. Danny, thank you for playing with your wiener on camera.
Hey.
Jacob, we love you. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And Alex, now I'm going to just get bombarded with cheap BMWs now, apparently. So, all right. Well, everybody stay safe and everybody stay inside because everything is closed. So do fun things, rally and whatnot. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right. Later.